Why do some older adults continue to live joyfully, independently, and full of energy, while others struggle with loneliness and declining health? Maybe you found yourself in those quiet mornings with a cup of cold coffee and a TV that keeps repeating the same old news. You tell yourself you're fine, but deep down you long to live more fully, with more purpose and more control. Some harmful habits are surprisingly common, from avoiding saying no just to keep the peace, to withdrawing from meaningful relationships. These patterns quietly chip away at our independence, joy, and even mental well-being. But if you can identify and shift just a few small habits, you could open a new chapter in your life, one that's more active, more connected, and above all, one where you feel truly alive rather than just getting by. This video will help you uncover 7 habits that older adults should let go of right away, and more importantly, how to make those changes gently yet effectively. If you find this topic helpful, please click like and share it with loved ones, especially those who might need a fresh new beginning. And if there's something you'd like to share about yourself, your parents, or a neighbor you care about, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Your story might just be the light someone else needs. Now let's begin this journey of transformation, starting with the smallest things. As we enter middle or older age, many people choose silence to keep the peace. They believe that compromise is wise, that silence equals serenity. But is that peace truly a reflection of inner calm, or merely the cost of surrendering your personal voice? Have you ever agreed to something just to avoid conflict? Have you ever felt invisible in conversations with family, friends, or even with those who once felt closest to you? Constantly accepting things without question can gradually strip away your sense of agency and erode your self-respect, the very foundation of autonomy and dignity at any age. The truth is, blindly agreeing to avoid tension isn't a sign of maturity or grace. It's often a sign that you've forgotten your own worth, your voice, and your right to live authentically. When we stop questioning, when we stop standing up for what we believe in, we hand over the power to define our lives to someone else. But the beautiful thing is, this can change at any moment. Speaking up doesn't mean shouting or creating conflict. Sometimes a simple, "I see it differently," or "I need some time to think," is enough to reclaim your footing in a conversation. Every time you choose honesty with yourself, you strengthen your personal boundaries, reignite your self-respect, and realign with your core values. If you're not used to expressing your views, start small. Write down what you wish to say, rehearse in front of a mirror, or confide in a trusted friend to rebuild your confidence. Communication isn't about opposition. It's an art form that allows you to be understood and to understand others more deeply. And remember, you are always worthy of being heard. Speaking up doesn't make you difficult. It's a sign that your spirit is alive and vibrant. When you say what you truly feel, you not only protect your integrity, but you also inspire others to live more honestly. Once you've reawakened your inner voice, it's time to open your heart and connect more deeply with those around you, because a voice without connection is only half of a fulfilling life. There's a common paradox among many older adults. The more time they have, the fewer connections they seem to maintain. Relationships that once formed the center of life, friends, colleagues, neighbors, gradually fade with the passing years. Some disappear due to changes in living situations. Others dissolve as emotional distances grow. Over time, many people build a smaller, more isolated world for themselves, without fully realizing the profound consequences. How long has it been since you last called someone just to check in? Or stepped outside simply to take a walk and chat with someone? Have you ever felt like you're surrounded by people yet still feel utterly alone? Isolation is not just about the absence of conversation. It's the feeling of not being connected, of no longer being a part of something greater than yourself. It's easy to fall into the mindset of, "I'm used to it, everyone's busy," or "I don't want to bother anyone." But the truth is, human beings at any age need connection. Science has shown that social isolation increases the risk of heart disease, depression, and even reduces lifespan. In contrast, those who maintain meaningful relationships tend to have better mental health, feel happier, and live longer. The good news is that you don't need a large social network to feel connected. Sometimes just a few genuine relationships, people you can trust, confide in, or simply sit with in silence, are enough to fill the emotional void. And no matter your current circumstances, you can absolutely take steps to rebuild your connections. Start with small actions. Send a message to an old friend, invite a neighbor over for tea, or join a community group, an art class, a light exercise group, or even a book club. And if you can't find one that suits you, why not start one? You might be surprised by how many others out there are also seeking connection, just like you. Don't overlook technology either. Though it may feel unfamiliar at first, using a smartphone, tablet, or social media can help you reconnect with old friends, find people with shared interests, and significantly expand your world, even without leaving your home. Most importantly, be willing to open your heart. Sometimes all it takes is a smile or a friendly hello to open the door to a new relationship. Remember, everyone values the feeling of being seen, and you can be the one to spark that feeling in someone else. Connection isn't just something you need, it's something you deserve. When surrounded by positive relationships, you don't just live longer, you live with greater purpose. You realize you're not simply a retired person, but someone still enriching the world through your presence. After reclaiming your voice and rebuilding your connection to life, it's time to turn inward and care for what matters most, your body. Because without a strong physical foundation, all other desires are hard to sustain. In the fast pace of modern life, we often get swept up in urgency and forget to care for the most important thing, our own body. Among many older adults, there's a common belief, I'm retired now, so rest is enough. But this very mindset, along with physical inactivity, careless eating, or avoiding regular health checkups, quietly drains vitality day by day. Have you ever noticed your body isn't as agile as it once was, but brushed it off thinking, it's just age, it's fine? How long has it been since you last moved your body intentionally, monitored your blood pressure, or checked your blood sugar regularly? The truth is, age is not a reason to stop taking care of yourself. It's the reason to care even more. As we grow older, our bodies need more support to maintain flexibility, endurance, and mental sharpness. Not to run marathons or achieve perfection, but simply to wake up each morning with enough energy to enjoy life. The good news is, you don't need to go to the gym every day or follow a strict diet. Just a few simple habits, like walking 20 to 30 minutes a day, eating more greens, staying hydrated, and having regular checkups, can make a remarkable difference. Start by listening to your body. If you're feeling unusually tired, dealing with persistent aches, or noticing something's off, don't delay seeing a doctor. Preventing illness is always easier and more cost-effective than treating it. At the same time, prioritize quality sleep and keep your mind relaxed, because mental and physical health go hand in hand. Maintaining your physical health doesn't just help you live longer, it helps you live more actively. You'll stop worrying about whether you can go to the market, tend your home, or join community activities. You'll have more energy to pursue your hobbies, play with your grandchildren, and fully enjoy every moment. Think of your body as a longtime companion, one that has carried you through many ups and downs. Now is the time to give it the care it deserves, so it can continue walking this journey of life with you, strong and steady. And once you've cared for your body, it's time to turn to another essential dimension of well-being, letting go of regrets and embracing the present fully. It's so easy for our minds to drift back to the days gone by, to the moments that still shine brightly in memory, when we felt young, useful, and full of passion. For many older adults, the past feels like a beautiful film they want to replay again and again, because the present, at times, can feel dull or filled with loss. But what happens when we live too long in those memories? The answer is simple. We lose touch with the moment we're in and miss the chance to create new beauty. Have you caught yourself saying, back in the day, more often than today, do you feel a lingering sadness over things undone, missed opportunities, or people who are no longer here? There's no denying the value of memories. They are a part of who we are. But when the past becomes a shelter instead of a foundation, it quietly pulls us away from the now. We begin to overlook today's smiles, new connections, and the experiences still waiting to unfold. Living in the past for too long causes the spirit to stagnate, emotions to repeat, and the soul to be bound to what can no longer be changed. The good news is, you have the power to change that. Each day is a chance to write the next chapter of your story. Start by trying something new. Learn a skill you once thought you didn't have time for, travel to a place you've always dreamed of, or simply taste a dish you've never tried. Give yourself the chance to build new memories, the kind you'll smile about someday. At the same time, practice gratitude for the present. Write down 3 things that bring you joy each day, whether it's a fragrant cup of tea, an unexpected phone call, or just a peaceful morning. These small moments are how we root ourselves in the present and rediscover lasting joy. It's never too late to begin a new chapter in your life. When you release your regrets, you open your heart to opportunities, to new people, and most importantly, to yourself as you are today. And once you've learned to live fully in the present, the next essential step is to learn how to love yourself by no longer sacrificing your happiness unconditionally for others. We grow up learning about sacrifice, compassion, and putting others before ourselves. And indeed, kindness is a noble virtue. But when you live so much for others that you forget your own needs, it's no longer love, it's self-neglect. Over time, this doesn't just lead to exhaustion, it quietly builds into feelings of abandonment, being unappreciated, and even resentment. Have you ever felt like you say yes too often? Always the one who helps, who listens, who gives? Yet rarely does anyone ask, "Are you okay?" Or, "What do you need?" Have you ever sacrificed a moment of rest, a small desire, or even a lifelong dream, just to please someone else? The truth is, always putting others first doesn't necessarily make you more loved. Sometimes it makes you invisible. Others begin to assume you'll always be there, always agreeable, always enduring. Meanwhile, inside you, unspoken needs pile up. Quiet dreams are pushed aside. And over time, this wears down your life energy, leaving you feeling depleted and disconnected from true joy in your relationships. The good news? You can change this. Learning to love yourself isn't selfish. It's realizing that you too deserve care, attention, and to be a priority in your own life. When you say no to things that drain you, you're saying yes to self-respect, mental wellness, and a life filled with what truly matters. Start with small steps. If you're tired, say no to invitations without guilt. If you have a hobby, make time for it as a non-negotiable. When someone asks something of you, pause and ask, "Do I really want to do this?" And answer honestly. Most importantly, remember, you don't need permission to care for yourself. Your very existence is reason enough. Prioritizing yourself actually amplifies your ability to love others. When you take care of your own well-being, you have more to give freely, joyfully, without resentment. Your relationships become more balanced, more genuine, and more deeply human. And believe this, you deserve joy. You deserve ease. You deserve love. Not just from others, but first and foremost, from yourself. And once you've learned to love yourself in a healthy, empowering way, you'll find yourself more open to embracing something often overlooked in later life: closeness, intimacy, and emotionally rich relationships. That is exactly what we'll explore next. There's a common yet risky mindset. I'm still capable. I don't need rest. Especially for those who've long embraced the roles of caregiver, strong one, or the person who can handle anything, many older adults continue to push through fatigue, aches, or emotional strain, as if acknowledging limits is a sign of weakness. But in truth, it's the opposite. Listening to and respecting your limits is one of the highest forms of maturity and wisdom. Have you ever felt your body trying to speak to you through back pain, insomnia, a racing heart, or unexplained fatigue? Have you ever buried emotional wounds with the thought, "I'm grown, I need to be strong"? These signs aren't weaknesses to hide or push through. They're signals urging you to return to self-care. Our bodies and minds naturally change over time. That's part of being human. Denying these changes only leads to exhaustion from an inner battle with yourself. But when you gently accept your limitations, You open the door to a more balanced, peaceful, and sustainable way of living. This isn't surrender, it's an awakened choice to live in tune with the rhythm that best suits this stage of life. Accepting your limits doesn't mean giving up. It means knowing when to pause, when to rest, and when to ask for help, so that you can recharge, maintain flexibility, and preserve your sense of peace. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is simply saying, "I'm tired today. I need to rest." You can start practicing this by making small changes, scheduling breaks between activities, getting enough sleep, not overexerting yourself with household chores, or opening up to loved ones when you're feeling overwhelmed. And emotionally, allow yourself to feel sadness, frustration, or anger, and gently process those feelings through journaling, conversation, or meditation. When you begin living in harmony with yourself instead of constantly pushing your limits, you'll notice life softens. Relationships become healthier too, because you're no longer straining to please others or expecting them to understand what you haven't even acknowledged within yourself. And most importantly, you'll start to realize that life isn't measured by how much you do, but by how you feel while doing it. You'll find greater joy, less pressure, and more inner space to savor every moment. Once you've learned to slow down and listen to yourself, your heart naturally opens to a part of life that is often forgotten: the need for closeness, emotional, and physical intimacy, a need that should not be denied because of age or outdated beliefs. Let us now step into the final chapter of this journey, reclaiming the right to intimate, meaningful relationships. At a certain age, many people quietly place a period at the end of their emotional and intimate lives, not because they've lost the capacity for connection, but because society sends an unspoken message. At your age, isn't that behind you? These silent judgments leave many older adults feeling ashamed, hesitant, or even avoiding the natural longing for closeness that still lives within them. Have you ever felt your heart flutter at a simple touch? Longed to hold someone close, but didn't know how to begin? Have you ever wondered if you were too old to talk about love, intimacy, or desire? Here's the truth: the need for deep connection, both emotional and physical, has no expiration date. Age doesn't still the heartbeat, and it doesn't erase the desire to love or be loved. If anything holds us back, it's fear of judgment, of getting hurt, or simply not knowing how to open up after so many years of keeping our feelings guarded. But it is never too late to build or renew intimate relationships. What you need isn't perfect looks or lofty promises. It's honesty, openness, and the willingness to gently reach into someone else's world with all that you are. Intimacy doesn't have to mean sex. Sometimes it's presence, a hand held, a knowing glance, or a deep conversation between two kindred spirits. Start by being honest with yourself. Write down what you're feeling, what you long for, and what fears still linger. If you have a partner, try reconnecting with them, heart to heart. If you're single, consider opening yourself to new encounters through clubs, events, or even technology. You don't need to rush. Just one small step at a time can begin to open up a whole new space within. Learn to communicate your desires gently and truthfully. If you're in a relationship, express your feelings and needs without judgment. If you're not, trust that many others are also seeking real connection, not based on age, but on a shared longing to be understood and cherished. Reconnecting with intimacy brings more than just joy. It offers tangible health benefits: better sleep, reduced stress, stronger immunity, and above all, a profound sense of being truly alive, something no medicine can replicate. Most importantly, you deserve love, gentle, full, and true to who you are. When you allow yourself to be close to another, you remind your soul that life is meant to be felt, to be shared, to touch and be touched, heart to heart. The journey to improving quality of life in older age isn't just about shedding old habits. It's about the courage to open your heart, first to yourself and then to the world. And you can begin that journey beautifully, bravely, starting today. Thank you for taking the time to walk with me through these reflections. Your presence alone tells me that you truly care about the quality of your own life, and that, in itself, is a deeply meaningful beginning. Together, we've explored 7 habits that may seem small, yet hold a profound influence on the peace, health, and happiness of older adults. From no longer agreeing blindly, breaking free from isolation, caring for physical health, living in the present, to learning to love yourself the right way, respecting your limits, and opening up to intimacy. Each of these steps is a powerful declaration that you are still living, still growing, still choosing a life that is intentional and full of value. And now I'd like to ask you, which of these 7 habits spoke to you the most? Which one do you feel is finally time to change? I invite you to share your thoughts because every story, every experience has the power to inspire someone else on the same journey. If these insights have brought you a spark of light, a touch of inspiration, consider leaving a sign, a share, a comment, or simply send this to someone who might need it. That's how we don't just keep the value to ourselves, but spread care and connection to the community around us. And you know what? It's never too late to start living better. Today is a beautiful day to choose life fully, consciously, and lovingly. I sincerely hope you'll continue this journey with me in the next videos, where we'll go even deeper into what it means to live a fulfilled, peaceful, and inspired life in our later years. Because you deserve a life like that, every day, every moment.